Shalom. I was supposed to have an interview with um, Dr. Colton Scrivener, who wrote the book Morbidly Curious. A scientist explains why we can't look away. Unfortunately, Dr. Scrivener had to reschedule, so hopefully we'll be able to do that sometime in January. Um, I have a final later today, which I don't want to actually study for it. Probably should. Um, I'll be fine. It is the first day of Hanukkah, and lots of news and stuff. And I figured, you know what? Rather than spend this time studying as I should, maybe I'll take a little break and do a just chatting stream. So, if there's anyone out there who actually wants to talk to me um, about any of the many, many things that have been happening, I'm still wondering what's going on with Shalom.
Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Hello, Jacob. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Although
doing all right.
I would have been much more impressed if you had started Ma'oz Tur Yeshuati.
The man can only do so much.
It's true.
I'm a big fan of a Misha Berach. I'm a big fan of that one.
Misha Barak is a nice one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Misha Barak Alatenu. Apparently Claire is talking with Christian Baxter. That on Claire's channel or on Christian's channel. That would be interesting to know.
I classify Claire in my mind. I classify Claire as my biggest fan.
She
She hates me,
does.
but so on the Leviathan for Play video, she
Yeah.
commented 42 times,
Yep.
mostly about how much she doesn't like me.
That is Claire. That is Claire for you.
But
Yeah.
but the word fan comes from the word fanatic.
Correct.
No one posts, no one reacts as much to me as her. She
Uh,
is by far my biggest fan.
yeah, I had a super fan who was on Twitter until I banned him. I should have just muted him. That he was, yeah, he would watch all of my videos, and I don't think. Yon God says, "Oh my God, it's naked." Yeah, he got shaved down to almost nothing. He used to
Mhm.
be a fluff ball, and now he's fluffy no more. Um. Anyway, how you doing? How's Toronto?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, doing really good. I got to see Sandy like a week ago. We went for a coffee, and she ate chili in front of me. It was a good time. Um,
She ate chili in front of you. Okay.
like I already had lunch, but she was getting it.
Okay.
So I showed up and she ate a bowl of chili in front of me while we talked.
Which is
Good.
actually okay. You just reminded me of yet another big story that probably there should be some sort of stream upon. Um, the CRC Canada is trying to break away, and they
Oh,
had
is it?
a conference recently, and Ready to Harvest did and released a video yesterday talking about the CRC splitting into denominations.
Well, I want them to stay together for just a little bit longer, um, because sooner or later Paul is going to have to come to Ontario if it does happen,
Mm.
and he can stay with me.
Okay.
I just want to bother him for a couple of days. So, I want to feed him and bother him. Is that so much to ask? If
Yeah,
you came here, I would feed you and bother you too.
I got to chew his head off for several hours when I drove him from Chicago to Grand Rapids.
I know. I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
It was fun. It was fun.
What was I going to tell you? Oh, the other big thing was the conversation I had with Sam last week instead of Bible study, which which I loved. It was a great
Which
conversation.
I commented on extensively,
Yes, you did.
almost obsessively, almost Claire-like.
No. You needed at least 12 more to even get into the realm.
It is rare that I put more than 2 comments on the same video.
But,
And I think that one I left 3, maybe 4. Yeah.
but I would describe this as an eventful time for myself in the corner. Or in the Peterson sphere. I'm in both, though. I had a conversation with Grim and with Neil and with...
Yeah, that was an interesting conversation.
Yes, it was. I had a great time.
Oh, I don't think I saw the conversation with Neil.
Neil is one of the ones that kicked it off, because I had a conversation with Neil and I made passing comments of things that if you were interested in Grim stuff, you would be... It was a bat signal. It was, he knows who these people are, which meant to Grim that he could have a different kind of conversation.
So I was doing an assessment. Paul says, yeah, David is the new corner hot girl.
Yeah.
I was doing an assessment.
Pick me. Okay.
One of the patients on Saturday, one of the new patients, and he like, we're talking about spirituality, and he mentions a particular YouTuber I'm not going to name, and I'm like, oh, I've heard of that YouTuber. He's like, you have, and he gets really excited and starts naming some more YouTubers, and then I had to go explain to my supervisor who these YouTubers are. and that we have a client in our locked ward who is very excited by them. Yeah.
It is. I do find it very funny being someone who operates in a lot of normie circles in the real world, having to be someone who explains this to other people. To like in a very serious manner say, do you know who Homath is just a great conversation that I had with my pastor earlier today. The senior pastor at my church being like, do you know who Homath is? No, I don't, Dave. Okay.
Yeah, so my supervisor was I think she's around my age, Black woman, and she was not aware of any of these metaphysical Black YouTube channels who believe that white people were created by aliens from another dimension.
I thought the aliens were from this dimension. Maybe we're thinking of different aliens, but okay,
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get Sam to talk about it, because it's I want to talk about Love is Blind, which he agreed to. But one of the things I find fascinating about Love is Blind is that they have Black couples always on the show, but they just let them talk and let them be who they are. And it's very, very rare that white people actually see Black culture the way that Black culture understands Black culture, because they say and do things that other people would be like, wait, what?
Yeah,
because you can feel white contestants on this show be like, when the like LGBTQ conversation come up, be very like they may have an opinion, but they are tiptoeing, and then you will hear the black folk on that show just be upfront and say stuff that you're just like, man, still kicking around, eh? Like it's yeah.
Okay, so apparently the most recent survey of Black opinion has 10% of all United States Black people espousing at least some beliefs that are uniquely Black Hebrew Israelite.
Yep. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
That's over 1 million people.
Yeah.
And I don't think the vast majority of people have any clue what the Black Hebrew Israelites believe, because the stuff the Black Hebrew Israelites believe is pretty crazy. Yeah.
What do now maybe that's I don't know where I want to go with that.
Lucky
Yeah.
is actually teething right now. Some of his teeth have started falling out, and so he's even more mouthy than usual.
Mm-hmm.
And now he can reach up onto counters.
Oh, that's not good, especially with a doodle. Just there's a little bit of a duh look to your dog. I know that makes I know the ones are extra loving. I know that.
Well, you know why they created doodles, right?
Just for allergies,
Mm,
or is that
yes,
so
but
Mormons
why
would
not
know how Christians feel? I don't know. What's the end of this joke?
why it is because of the high hypoallergenic coat, but why didn't they just use poodles? Why doodles?
I don't know.
Because poodles are incredibly smart dogs, and they're too smart
Okay.
to be special assistance dogs, because it's actually very boring work.
Right. So
So you add a little Labrador or a little Golden Retriever, and you get a dog dumb enough. Yes. You didn't hear this, Lucky, but you get a dog that's dumb enough to,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, Luke is correct. The allergy is to their skin, but stop that.
It was me doing it at the same time. Yeah.
But the fact that they don't shed makes it a lot easier to control their dander, which is why it's not completely.
Luke, I will also bother you to be part of the Love is Blind conversation. I think that would be a good conversation.
Paul says 1% of people are the lowest 1% of intelligence. This is true. This is very true. I was actually very, very surprised the first time somebody pointed out to me that half of all people have below 100 IQ.
Necessarily.
It is actually definitional, and you would be unsurprised how many people argue with me when I first point that out.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to Lake Wobegon?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, so there was a show with Garrison Keillor on NPR for many, many years. I forget what the name of the show was, but it was basically radio vaudeville, and I think you would have actually really liked it. And
I do enjoy vaudeville.
Yeah, it was, yes, and see, Paul knows what I'm talking about. So the Lake Wobegon was one of their shticks, and one of the things they said about Lake Wobegon is, and all the children are above, all the children are above average. Yes.
Yeah.
It was great. And I'm not even a boomer. And then they canceled Garrison Keeler for being a white man.
Jacob, how are you doing? You have a thing later today. You have a test. You have finals.
I have finals in a class. So the last exam, we had a midterm, which probably is like 90% of the finals questions are going to be from the midterm. And I got the highest score in the class, almost 100%. I'm not exactly worried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is he talking about here? Jacob, do you like women?
Women can be okay.
What is your opinion on women?
Women are half of the human species. That is my opinion on women.
That's a very politically driven response, not giving us any information at all.
So last night I was at a holiday party. It wasn't Hanukkah party. It was more a Christmas party. And there was a gay couple there with their baby, and I very quietly started pontificating to my friend about how it's a bad idea to create children in single-sex families.
Was this baby Asian? I hear the gay ones oftentimes come out Asian. It's a joke.
Okay, I'm like,
because they adopt a lot of Chinese kids. Sorry, it's a joke.
Oh, I think he means Garrison Keeler was a white man who liked women. No, actually, I have to say, if you look into the allegations, like the allegations were so banal that I don't think it had anything to do with him liking women. Like one of the allegations was that he patted someone on her shoulders. Like it was really, really ridiculous. Me Too-ish stuff. Yon God, that is not true. I have met your girlfriend / wife.
He knows. Wait, you did?
Well, not in real life, but I had a long conversation with her on video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I only got Yanni out like twice, maybe thrice.
Oh, we've had long conversations. I know his real name.
I know his real name too. I sent you his email. Did I send you his email? No, I told you I had his email. I emailed him that you would like to talk to him.
Ah. Yes.
Look, he must feel great. People are competing as to who knows him better.
It's important stuff.
Anyway, what did you learn in synagogue this week?
Who said I went to synagogue this week?
So nothing.
I look like the type of person who goes to synagogue on a weekly basis.
I mean, are we talking about your face or your outfit?
Yes, no, maybe so.
There you
are. Yoav with his non-halachic Chanukiah. Although it might actually be halachic and at a weird angle. And it's already the second night where he is. So that's why he gets to light 2 candles.
Is it circular?
I think he has it at a weird angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that he's not. Last week he was at a. Well, this past week is when I was talking with Sam. Last week he was at a wedding.
So there's Yoav.
Hello.
Hello.
Yoav, is it at a funny angle? Is it actually
is-
white?
It's movable. I can move each stick to wherever I want. It's a kinetic, so I can make it whatever shape I want. So what is the halachic shape?
The halachic shape is that the shamash must be at least a little bit higher than the actual nerot, and the other nerot should all be on a straight line. I mean, they don't have to be in a row, but they must be on the same level horizontally.
Am I doing this right?
You're missing 2 tines. That's a menorah, not a Chanukiah.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah,
Yes,
that's my.
a menorah has 7 branches, and a Chanukiah has 9.
So I think I qualify.
Okay, I believe you. How is your Hanukkah?
Well, it's going on.
Yeah.
As I said, Hanukkah is in North Tel Aviv is the holiday in which you take your kids to the theater.
Really? Okay.
Unfortunately, the main theater is just next to my house.
Okay.
So all of Tel Aviv is trying to get to my neighborhood and back from it 3 times a day.
It's a bit much, yeah.
So as usual, I feel under a siege.
Jacob, have you seen the Hanukkah Harry sketch on SNL?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's from like the 70s, isn't it?
It's 80? It's John Lovitz. I think it's 80s.
It's old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it on television. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What's the play? Like, is it like a Purim spiel, or is it a particular play, or how does it?
Song and dance, just a collection. Usually, traditionally, just a collection of songs and dances. So, we call it maybe you call it a variety show, whatever.
Okay. Much like a Purim spiel.
No, Purim spiel has a plot. Purim spiel always retells the Agadah in some funny way.
The Megillah.
The Megillah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So they don't actually tell the story of Hanukkah at all and the Maccabees.
No, that would be too religious. I think the theme this year is Bob Sponge. Yeah.
Is what?
Bob Sponge.
Oh, SpongeBob.
Yeah, I think this is.
Bob Sponge. I love Bob Sponge. Bob Sponge is great.
What is the Hebrew of SpongeBob?
Bob Spog.
Oh, Bob Spog. Okay, Bob Spog.
Yeah.
Spog is Hebrew for sponge.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it has a relation to Hanukkah because it's related to Sufganiya.
How so?
Sufganiya is the female for Spog.
Oh, really?
Because it takes so much oil.
Interesting. Okay.
It sponges all the oil.
Yeah, Sufganiya. Where does the word Sufganiya? It's not a Hebrew word, is it?
It is, of course, because it's related. It has a Hebrew root.
It does? Spog?
Of course, yes.
Really? Sufganiya. Okay.
There is a verb. There is a verb to sponge.
Uh-huh. So when I had many years ago, I had a friend who was an Israeli, and I got into a discussion with him where he was like, "Yudaika is a Hebrew word. Yudaika is not a Hebrew word." So yeah. Yeah, it comes from spog. It is a Hebrew word. Okay, sufgania, not Judaika. Okay, interesting. I do like sufganiot. Okay, most controversial question in Judaism. Do you like cream sufganiot or jelly sufganiot?
Well, the tradition here is jelly sofganiot.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not in the age and position to enable me to enjoy a lot of these anyway.
Okay.
But when I was young, I used to like them. Yes.
I mean, I like both of them, but some people get very touchy on whether they're filled with cream or with jelly.
Well, when I was a kid, it was always jelly. Cream was the innovation
Yeah.
when we got modern.
By the way, it's parve cream. It's not. There's no milk in the cream. This is the it's made out of eggs, whatever the filling is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, okay, like a custard almost.
Yeah, custard. Yeah, actually, yeah, I should use the word custard instead of cream.
Yeah. I for latkes, to me it's all sour cream. Sour cream is the best of the toppings. Applesauce, like I like sweet, but applesauce is a no thank you for me.
But the problem with that is it makes it milky, and usually any Hanukkah party you have is going to be in the evening, and so having a milchik Hanukkah party is pashtus. Not only that, most people, the only thing they have to deep fry anything in is a fleshik pan, and even if you make a parve latke, you can't eat it directly. If you use a fleshik pan, you can't eat it directly with what you call it. You can't eat it directly with sour cream. And yes, actually, I think raspberry is the most common sufganiot nowadays. Although people, I guess it used to be mostly with strawberries, right? Or cherry.
The only berries we have in quantities is strawberries.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, it's all artificial.
This is true. It's mostly just sugar.
Yeah.
Sufgania is sugar with sugar with sugar.
Yeah, it's sugar coated with oil.
Yes.
I made, God bless my parents who just were patient with whatever the hell I was going through. But one morning, I made latkes for Christmas morning. Like that was,
Okay.
it was Merry Christmas, guys! I'll make breakfast. What are these? They are potato pancakes, and they're quite good.
Latkes for breakfast works. Yeah. Might be a little heavy though. I mean, they are very oily.
Like I was 22. I will say,
No, it's not nothing. I'm teaching you Hebrew.
Paul, we are very, very intentional about what we talk about in Just Chatting streams. Like, if Luke were to come on and talk any of his nonsense, he would be directly and immediately
destroyed with facts and logic. Is that the one?
Something like that, yeah.
Apropos destroyed, what is Claire dislike you most about? What is the most?
He's a Trinitarian.
Oh no!
She is absolutely like, if you want to trigger Claire, start talking about the Trinity. because I don't think there's anything Claire dislikes more than the Trinity. Yeah. Which is interesting. The fact she's an agnostic, she's secular, but the one thing she finds absolutely intolerable is the Trinity, which is one of the reasons I like her.
But this is not specific to David. What is specific about David that triggers her the most?
Well, okay, so she particularly dislikes any Western person she can categorize as Islamophobic, and she thinks that any Christian who tends towards Judaism more than Islam is doing it solely for Islamophobic. Okay, you're trying to make sense out of Claire, and if Claire is actually only a single human being, genuinely representing what she herself thinks she believes.
I love when you do this. This is one of my
I
favorites.
highly cast doubt upon, right? There is definitely more than a 30% chance that Claire is
A social construct.
is a human being who is being employed by some agency or group. If you have not heard of the Cybernetic Research Unit, I highly recommend you look it up. If she's serious about the things which she's saying, which I doubt, and Paul has had lunch with Claire, I'm not saying she's not an actual human being. I am saying she may be a human being who's representing something bigger than herself, right? But if she is just a single human being who is not involved with other people, other movements, and I mean, I will point out once again, she passed she's a member of the bar in the United Kingdom, and she has not been disbarred. The types of things she has done in the United States would get her disbarred. In England, there are people serving jail sentences for far less egregious things than she has done. And I think she said she was arrested once. I am not aware that she's ever been prosecuted, right? There's something going on there. There is something going on there. So, anyway, beside all that point.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I like this so much. I mean, obviously, you saw the conversation I had with Grim. I enjoy conspiracies, but I like these little tiny ones that every now and then we stumble across where it's like, that's suspicious. What do you think is going on there?
Yeah, I think it just doesn't advance my investigation, because if I don't know what Claire is all about, saying that she's part of an organization doesn't help me, because then I don't know what the organization is all about.
Okay, so number one rule of conspiracy theories, right, is that the intent of anything is the result of that thing. Okay?
Okay, given that she's not going to get any results.
But she does get results. She has gotten lots of results.
Like?
Over the past 10 years, she has absolutely humiliated many, many prominent figures on the right, both especially in the United Kingdom, but she has turned the far right on the internet into a laughing stock with what she does.
Okay. That could have been a private mission.
It could have been, and I actually think it's quite likely that she might not even be aware who her handlers are. Yes.
Right. Like with certain people didn't realize that there were people funding them, like what was that? The Tenant Media scandal thing that happened, where it's just like, yeah, you were getting money and you didn't know why they were giving you money.
Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
The CIA, I mean, you can look up the actual things. The CIA, I am sure Jackson Pollock sincerely believed that he was popular because he was a good artist. And I have heard from various people that it's defensible art. But let's not forget the fact that the CIA very deliberately bumped up Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. So here's a question. Why, with this in mind, does she dislike me in relationship to any of that stuff?
I don't know. I like, it's very hard to understand what Claire is up to, but she hasn't just had Mark D. Parker and Christian Baxter on. She is the only person I have ever seen to humiliate E. Michael Jones. And if you don't know who EMJ is, I am glad to hear you don't know who EMJ is. But for those of us who knew what the Groyper movement was before Nick Fuentes, EMJ was a big guy, and he could still be a big guy if Claire hadn't destroyed him. Which I think, be very happy you don't know who EMJ is.
I know who E. Michael Jones is, and I want to see him talk to Claire. I'm gonna find this.
He did it twice.
He did it twice?
He absolutely humiliated her. I mean, she humiliated him. Yeah,
amazing.
She's
and I, for my sin, let her loose on our cool kid and didn't even spring to his help when he needed it.
E. Michael Jones is a university professor.
Was a university
professor. He's Tradcath. He wrote the Jewish, the Jewish Revolutionary Spirit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's written a couple of media things that I'm like, oh, that's actually interesting.
He is the most he was the most capable proponent of anti-Semitism on the internet for a good 10 years.
Imagine if Jordan Peterson was what they claimed he was. That might be a good description.
Yeah. No, Claire has been. I first found Claire because she seemed to be very good at finding mostly reasonable right-wing people and be clowning them.
How does she clown them? By disagreeing with them or agreeing with them?
Well, that's the thing. Like, when you have a construct like secular Coranism, right, which no intelligent human being can possibly agree with, right, she herds people by getting them to argue with her. That's how she repositions them. And she does it in various ways, depending on who she's doing it to.
That's an interesting thing. I never thought of this before. Is the role of a troll in certain situations, when you think about that proverb, that you might actually be able to show someone is a fool by getting them to argue with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you could publicly disgrace someone by showing that they couldn't help but interact with you.
Yeah.
I have come to this meeting with a prepared speech. And in my prepared speech, I wanted to say, first, that I think she's very clever, and she's very well read, and she's well-meaning. If you judge her by her results, by her acts, judged by the fruits, don't you agree she's well-meaning?
See, this is the problem I have with her, which is, yes, I cannot imagine. Like, I should be very grateful for much of the work she has done in discrediting the far right, but I am of the belief that you do that by speaking truth, logos, and coherence into the world, not through the ways that she has been doing the things that she may have right. Okay, fine. She might have the right intentions, but the first of all, I am not sure she is actually in the end getting the results that she wants, because it would be nice if we had a oi, you're wearing that
Oi, is that oi to the world?
Yes, it is. He wears it every year around Hanukkah time, which is why I suggested that his Secret Santa get him a bad sweater, but his Secret Santa decided on something else.
Do you like? Do you know the song? Oi? There is a song called "Oi to the World." It's a ska song, but either way. Sorry, continue, Jacob.
I'm not sure what she's actually going to achieve or not, but the way she's going about it, I think, also has very bad repercussions, including people not taking Nick Fuentes as seriously as they should.
Do you think Claire will get a conversation with Nick Fuentes?
No, I think Nick Fuentes is too smart for that. I was very surprised she was able to get EMJ, but she's also operating on a much older version of the internet than we have now. The types of pranks she pulls and the way her things work are based on the CRU, Nick Land, Sadie Plant understanding of the internet, which is a generation of warfare, of internet meme warfare, that is almost gone and doesn't work as well as it used to. And yes, I have been following internet meme warfare for the past 25 years.
About as long as the internet's been around.
Yep. I mean, my undergraduate research project, which I started in 1996, was studying how the internet was. I put up my first web page about the neo-Nazis and white supremacy on the internet in 1995.
And it will continue until it takes over, until all your base are belong to us. Do you remember that one? Do you remember all your base are belong to us?
Yes, I do.
We're old enough to remember all of them, I think.
Okay.
Just the perfect age to know all of them.
The internet is a series of tubes. That's one that I'm upset that a lot of my friends don't know anymore.
Minus 40 DKB. First of all, this isn't estuary.
No, God, no.
Second, I'm not sure you could call either me or Yoav a non-practicing Jew.
How do you know who she's talking about?
Well, this is Tayo. By the way, actually, it's funny. Tayo, I was talking to one of the residents in the psych units that I'm working on. She's also Yoruba, sorry, and she was not happy with how I said Temitayo. She said it correctly. I forget how she actually said it, but there is a Nigerian Yoruba elder lady in a psych ward in Los Angeles who knows of your existence.
Oh,
Yeah. So be careful out there.
So why does Claire have a particular ire for David?
I don't even know that she does. It was just a couple of videos where she did.
I mean,
on one video, she did 42 comments.
Well, yeah, that's Claire's style, period.
And I was not talking about the Trinity. I mean, I did talk about Jesus for a little bit. I'm a Christian. I can't help myself. But it wasn't on the Trinity specifically. It was Leviathan for play. It was the notions of chaos and humor within the Bible and how God, maybe the whole Bible's a joke.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Claire doesn't need much topical relevance to start grinding her axe. And nothing bothers her more than Christians who are not just bog standard Trinitarians, because she starts in with the well, why aren't you Muslim kind of thing, and I think Sam drives her more nuts than anything else.
I don't know how many people are actually driving her nuts as opposed to how many people she pretends are driving her nuts.
Well, I mean, just like her engagement level like really pops up higher.
Right, but you have to remember, she has this level of engagement, which we imagine is full-time around us, in multiple communities simultaneously. She is on many WhatsApp groups. She's on many Facebook groups. She has this level of involvement with Joseph Mizrahi and Yaron Ruvain and with the Dawa scene and the Trad Cats, and she's all over the place.
But if she's that all over the place, then what's another one or two comment barrages on other videos? Like, what? It just tends to be very topical around here, at least.
I don't know how she does it, which is why I suspect she might actually be a really good computer programmer.
I don't think so.
I don't know. She may be using various tools to help her be as engaged as she is on various platforms, or she may have multiple people involved, and she might be hiring bot farms. I have no clue.
Maybe, but I think Teo's right here. She does go through phases.
She's been locked onto many different things at many different times. She's been doing this for over 10 years.
Well, while Paul was having lunch with her, was she posting somewhere else? I mean, is she like Clark Kent and Superman here? Can we track down if she can be two places at once? Like, has anybody seen her like that? I mean,
Great point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I definitely believe I've seen her posting in multiple communities. I have never seen Claire this is why I demand every time she comes on that she turn on her video, because at least I know which Claire Kaw I'm dealing with if it's actually her on video. I think
it's fair. You can doing decently high fidelity voice speech to voice transcription with a voice library has been around for years, even before lately. So that could be part of it. She doesn't ever turn her video on.
I mean, the idea that you could be active on the internet as long as she has been, without having a single person who is an avowed fan is absolutely shocking. Out of 8 billion people on Earth, not one person is like, yes, I believe in secular Coranism. I think it's deliberate.
I gotta believe somebody else would have come upon it naturally, not necessarily under her conversion.
Yeah. Like, I have people who agree with me. There are people who agree with me. She can't find somebody to agree with her? This puppy is going to be twice this weight, and I don't think I'm going to be able to hold him in my lap when he is, because he's already very heavy.
So I have a professional question for you. If you have a person who is on the wrong path, and you want to make him better, first thing you have to make him admit, see the error of his way, and admit that he's on the wrong path. And then you have to let him find a solution rather than you dictate the solution to him. Would you agree?
That is certainly the way that psychotherapy has functioned and does function generally for the vast majority of people. There have been some criticisms of that method. I think that it is useful in clinical psychology because of the type of people who are willing to submit themselves to therapy. I actually have strong doubts on whether that is true for people who are unwilling to submit to therapy.
Okay. So say that you are living in England, and England is sick, and you have a genuine wish to make England better.
Again, sorry, keep going.
So what would you do is first agree that the current situation requires a solution, requires a change, and then you suggest a nonsense solution, waiting for the other guy to say, well, this is nonsense, this will not work. Let me now tell you how it will work.
I think that's what she's doing. I think I do believe that that's what she's doing. And she's far more capable. This is the number one thing I tell people. Don't write her off as just a crazy yeah.
I've told people this as well about Jan God, is when Jan God first started kicking around, people were like, oh, he's a troll. And honestly, when he attends my Bible study, the comments he makes are funny and they're gold. They're gold. Sometimes you have to piece together what he's actually getting at, but when you can, it's really good.
Tayo, you are so wrong. As somebody who's actually met her, you're one of the people who's actually met her. I am surprised. Maybe in real life she is really bad at listening. Maybe it might be. I have given serious thought to the idea that she may be some sort of, autistically enough that she is best able to engage with people through the internet and through computers. So I've never met her in real life. I don't know what it's like in that way. Through the internet, she has a very, very strong theory of mind, and she has a great ability to actually manipulate people.
Well, she answers questions with questions a lot, or poses questions, and she's fairly aggressive on that. She does not follow threads deeply, so that's a scale power for her. Is like, because it doesn't vary much, her content bandwidth, and she really just will turn a question right back on you and then get the other person to start being on the defensive for what it's worth. So I mean, it's interesting. She's patient and she'll engage, but I don't think she's a good listener because she's not actually. She won't allow the other party to direct the thread.
She may be multitasking in and that's the thing. I think she's constantly engaging with multiple communities, multiple people, and like she's a 10-to-1 like chess player, right? Obviously, when you're playing chess with somebody who's playing with 10 other people, they're going to be more reactive. Chag Sameach, Rabbi Mullet. Nice to see you. Hope everything is good. Yeah. No, don't underestimate Claire. Underestimating Claire is a huge mistake in my opinion.
Brought to you by Claire. I just realized that the menorah, or the whatever, the shasha or whatever, is not kosher. Yeah, it's not kosher. Look at this.
That Hanukkah is not kosher because the shamash is on the same level as the other ones.
All right, now I gotta burn this one.
Oh no, that means it was designed by Reform Jews.
Yeah.
Who are you
Or not-
referring to? What
They're
Hanukkah?
worse than Messianic.
Hanukkah on his shirt.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today I learned it wasn't halakhically.
Refuah Shlema, Rabbi Mullet. Feel better soon. And Refuah Shlema to all the various people who both in Rhode Island at the Brown University have been hospitalized, and the people in Sydney, Australia. The Chabad community in Sydney has been hit very hard. We talked about that yesterday during my little Talmud stream. But yeah, this has been a very difficult time.
Kind of a not so happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, not to mention what happened with the Reiners, which I don't even know if I'm going to talk about that much because apparently their son had been in rehab 16 different times. And if it tells you something about the psychiatric system in Los Angeles that somebody who has been in rehab 16 different times can be so violent as to murder both his parents, and nobody picked up on that. Whatever. Today's been a difficult day for lots of people.
Do you think that there's any political element to it? Because I know Rob Reiner was also politically quite crazy.
My guess is no. I mean, his son murdered him and his wife, and so I would be surprised if his son had different politics, and if his son did have different politics, it was probably a emotional reaction to his father being so political. You understand?
Yeah.
ultimately, I think it gets down to probably psychiatric help that he needed. Well, the thing is, if when somebody has been homeless, using, they have been using substances at such a rate that it is impossible to know whether any psychiatric problems are the result of the
Yeah, there becomes a chicken and the egg issue there.
of whether the person is using substances to self-medicate, or it is the substances which is causing the mental health. Yeah, but I will say, quite what we see a lot of in Los Angeles is people brought up by boomers who were like, "Oh, we're not going to tell our kids how to find meaning in life," and then their kids don't have any meaning in their lives, and they do various nihilistic and horrible things. Not that I am blaming the victim here. I am sure Rob Reiner and his wife thought they were doing the best for their kids, but don't be surprised if you. Yes, everything is bigger in America, Paul. Don't be surprised if you raise your kids with no meaning in their lives, and then they have no meaning in their lives, despite what popular psychology and our stupid culture may tell you.
So, is the local menorah lighting tonight more dangerous or less dangerous in light of the weekend? I would expect less, with more police presence.
Yeah, much less dangerous. In fact, especially in Michigan, I expect, especially at a Chabad menorah lighting, I expect several people will be packing.
It's downtown Grand Rapids though, in the big plaza. Now, I don't expect downtown Grand Rapids, a real hotbed of anti-Semitism for sure, to have any issues.
I mean,
you never know.
yeah,
we do have crazy.
With the Supreme Court decision on concealed carry permits, I guarantee you there are going to be, in Michigan, I guarantee you there are going to be Christians and Jews who, because of what happened in Sydney, have decided they are going to be carrying no matter what the law says, probably with CCWs.
Well, and Michigan has more than its fair share of firearms.
That's right.
No, it has its fair share of firearms, and I wish more good people, had the same type of views that I'm guessing. My guess is there's going to be at least 4 people there prepared to shoot anyone who attacks the Hanukkah lighting in Grand Rapids. Yes, I 100% agree. Good for them. Stay strapped.
I would like a Hanukkah style flamethrower. I think that would be the best weapon to protect one with.
Didn't the Hebrew Hammer use one of those?
I do. I think that may have appeared in the Hebrew Hammer.
Yeah, I think I remember the Hebrew Hammer having a flamethrower that was a Hanukkah. I might be misremembering. Yeah. Hey, didn't Jesus say something about sell everything you own and buy a sword?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, actually, this reminds me. On Bible study on this Thursday coming up, I want to talk about the take a break from Kings and just do the chapter where Jesus celebrates Hanukkah.
Hey, I'm a fan of that one verse.
I know that you are, so I'm inviting you. Show up, Jacob.
I work on Thursdays now, so
Ugh.
me showing up on Thursdays is basically not going to happen unless I change my schedule, which I might, just because Thursdays have been so. The hospital I work at, we have to park on the street, and there's street cleaning on Thursdays from 8 to 10 a.m. And I have to be on. So half the street parking lots are all. Half the street parking spaces are not usable when I arrive to work, and so, yeah. I might change my schedule, but it's not going to be this week or anytime soon, probably,
All right.
or possibly ever, until I finish my internship in May. I'm kind of bummed that Dr. Scribner had to reschedule. His book is incredibly interesting. I highly recommend it. It just came out. It is called. Where's the name of this book? Why do I not see the name of this book? Morbidly Curious. A scientist explains why we can't look away. I highly recommend his book. And if you don't want to read the entire book, there's an NPR podcast called The Hidden Brain, which is actually pretty good and scientific, unlike the vast majority of things on NPR. And he was on there recently, so highly recommend it. One of the things he found out is that one of the things he says is that just chatting should be retitled Morbidly Curious. Kind of. No, he is 3/4 poodle, 1/4 golden retriever, standard poodle. One of the things he says is he believes people go on dates to scary movies to observe whether their mate is responds to fear correctly. Yep.
And what would be the correct response that I know next time?
So I think he believes that it's how you weed out people who. So there's fight or flight or freeze, right? Those are the three major responses people have, and I think he says the wrong response is freeze, but different people might have different whatchamacallit. See, this is one of the things he discounts. It's a common belief people have that people who go to scary movies, especially if they like the supposed bad guy, that's a warning sign, and he's very much opposed to that idea. Yeah.
Why would the people go to an amusement park on a date?
Again, same thing, recreational fear. like that's his area of expertise is recreational fear, and recreational fear is real.
Recreational fear. I love recreational fear is a great name for a band. Every now and then you just hear something and you're like, that's a good band name.
There's a university, I believe, in Amsterdam, which has a recreational fear lab. Like that's the name of the lab.
Yeah.
And
that's a record company name right there. Yeah.
they are the people for the great scientists of recreational fear.
Well, I don't know who you're talking about. It's probably much knowledgeable than I am. But may I propose an alternative theory?
Sure.
The theory is that, well, I'm talking about women because that is my subject of research. Women can sense a feeling and they find it harder to pinpoint what the feeling is. The worst thing that you want to have on a date is that your partner will feel nothing. The theory that was relevant when I was dating is that when your partner is feeling fear, of course, not too much of it, because then it is identifiable. She senses some feeling, something stirs in the gut, and she cannot really make up her mind whether it is fear or maybe she's falling in love. Because falling in love is a bit of a frightening thing if you're on a first date or a second date with somebody.
They have said that they have measured arousal patterns and that scary movies are in fact good date movies. That has become a meme for a reason. So
I actually applied this method while dating with great success. And what I did is I met a very nice girl at a party. And I said, well, why don't we go for a night swim? So we went to respective houses and got swimsuits and went to the beach, and I had a bit of a night swim. The lucky thing is what the girl was actually frightened of water, and especially frightened of water at night. The last thing she would have done was go for a night swim in the sea. It can be quite rough sometimes. But then, it's a new guy and you don't want to appear a coward and you don't want the date to end just now. So she went along with that. And she was really emotionally stressed by that event, by a result of which she did fall hopelessly in love, or she thought she was falling hopelessly in love at the time. But then once you convince yourself that you are, then you do. And now I'm married with 3.
Yoav,
you married this woman? You're still in the middle of this experiment?
Yeah, I want to. You don't interrupt a successful experiment in the middle.
That's a great point.
I really think you would benefit from reading his book, Morbidly Curious.
Okay.
I think you'll find it very interesting.
I will wait for the YouTube presentation.
Well, I mean, at least parts of it are that podcast, The Hidden Brain. It was pretty good. Yeah, you might want to start with that podcast. I don't think it's on YouTube, but it is on most podcast platforms. Yeah, Dr. Colton Scrivener. and I guess I'll have a chance to finish reading his book by the time I actually do the interview, because I didn't finish it. Yeah. But yeah, it's unlike many books on the topic, it's actually worthy of a book length treatment, and he is genuinely a scientist. So
Okay, to Paul van der Klee, I am not a scientist. I spent a life with scientists, and they do their own thing. I will do my thing.
Yoav is an engineer, and he engineered having 3 kids. How can you blame him for that?
Let's say the engineer is attached tech skins the practical bits of the science.
I am a fan of engineers, especially engineers who manage to have kids. And the bottom row here has 7 kids. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get going. This was fun.
Later.
Happy Hanukkah.
Don't do anything I would do.
Oh, that's good advice.
Especially not with a knife.
Okay, bye.
It's more impressive for an engineer to get a woman to marry him. Not in Israel. In Israel, engineers do pretty good.
I was just about to suggest that Michael will join us to increase the number of kids in the lower row.
Oh, yeah. So I am the only person with fewer than 3 kids on this on this stream. Does Michael have to beat Jonathan? Are you on number 4, Michael? I think Michael's on
number 4.
Oh, we're tied.
You're tied. I'm guessing Michael's gonna beat you though, Jonathan.
Well, yeah, unless I'm widowed.
Mm. Your wife's like, I'm done. 4.
Yeah.
Hey, I think 4 is a perfectly fine number of kids to have. Paul has 5, so
yeah.
He's still winning individually.
Yep.
But we have 11 kids. Like the average here is what's 11 divided by 4? It's not even 3 yet. We're beating.
We're 3.3 or something like that, right? I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. I'm an engineer.
You obviously are not, because it's closer to 2.8. Yeah.
4, 4, 3. 11 divided by 3. Yeah, you're right.
11 divided by 4.
Oh, by 4, right. I didn't include you.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, this guy came over to buy some baby stuff from us because, you know, evidently we're done, right? So, you know, I just assume, like, I was like, hey, you know, like, first time parent, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no. I was like, what number? He's like, 7. I was like, where's all your baby stuff? He's like, well, we weren't planning on this. And I was like, oh, were you planning on it when it was like number 5 or 6? Like, you know, at what point you guys just say, hey, you know what? We're just going to keep the baby stuff in storage. We're bad at predicting.
How you doing, Michael?
Oh, pretty good. Just chasing deer around the woods. So I don't know
Without
if you can see them.
without a gun?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a public greenbelt walkway here, so I'm pretty sure I'd get in trouble if I had a gun.
You're in Texas.
Yes, but I'm in the middle of the city.
Texas is an open carry state, isn't it?
Yes, but these are deer that are not very afraid of people because they live in the middle of a very populated city where people do not shoot them randomly. So, but you know, if things get bad, it's gonna go quick. But for now, we just take pictures.
Uh-huh. But deer become pests if you don't call them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can get these like green belts connect to the areas where I think you can like hunt legally, but I don't know. They're not a pest. If they are, I don't know if there's anybody that culls the herds here in the parks, but because there's a lot of green belts that go all around the city, and you can basically walk through the woods to get anywhere else in the city if you want, which is kind of nice. But I mean, it takes a while. But
Interesting. I did not know that.
yeah, it's a very nice city in that regard. Yep.
Paul says,
So-
introduce wolves to downtown San Antonio. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I let my dog off the leash when we come to the park, so he can chase the deer. But I mean, he's never going to catch one, but it's fun.
So how much longer do you have of paternity leave?
None. I'm back to work, really, essentially. I mean, I can take time out of the day if I need to do anything. So it's not a big deal. And it's kind of slow at work, but they screwed up my leave and they didn't use my like paid time when they were supposed to. So I got 2 very small paychecks and then said, forget this. I'm just going to do the thing that I know works, which is going to work and getting paid for it. So, yep.
Where is that?
This is the park in the middle of Tel Aviv, next to the Yarkon River.
Those are foxes or coyotes?
Jackals.
Jackals.
We don't have coyotes. Jackals are our coyotes. Rather small.
See, Ron is on his church's response team. Michael, are you on your church's response team?
No.
Do you have a CCW? You don't have to say if you don't want to.
What? No? What is that?
Just deny everything. I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay. Well,
Concealed carry permit.
oh, yeah, that's not me.
No, in Texas, they just wear them just out in the open on their holsters.
Yeah, Los Angeles was not very happy when the Supreme Court said they had to start giving people CCWs. Lots and lots and lots of people got CCWs very quickly.
I'd prefer them to be hidden. Wandering around with people with guns strapped to their backs is just a little more unnerving than like if you've got it hidden away. Out of sight, out of mind.
It's not just unnerving. I don't like the idea that people can use other people's weapons because grabbing weapons is a thing and not everyone's always paying attention, and B, actually know who's carrying when. Like, I like the fact when my friends with CCWs are around and I know they're carrying and nobody else does.
Yep.
Did you guys see the 10-minute video of the shooting in Sydney?
I wasn't going to watch it.
It wasn't gruesome. Some of the videos were gruesome. Like there were people who took videos of the scene as like emergency was trying to help some people, and other people were just lying dead on the ground.
Yeah.
That was pretty gruesome, but yeah, the 10-minute video of the shooters, it's like, wow, how long does it take you to respond? There was a police station less than half a mile away.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have
Well,
no
I did
idea
see there
the
was like
logistics.
women cops that froze. Is that right? Is that?
I don't know. I mean, the video just shows these two guys, and they were a father and son team who had obviously trained with each other. And like they're yeah, they had obviously trained with each other, and they were, it was just amazing to see how long they were still shooting at people. So yeah. And apparently, I mean, because they didn't have semi-automatics, like there was a bolt action and a shotgun they were using, and so it was like how this guy shot that poor 10-year-old girl, like amazing what some people are capable of doing. People talking about false flags have lost their mind. Like there's absolutely zero reason to think this was a false flag, other than being somebody who's so Western they have absolutely zero idea what Islam is like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the thing is, like, domestic stuff that you might like. You don't even need to have a false flag in the West anymore, because basically they just did the same thing that Islam does, which is use the messaging and the media to dehumanize people, and then you get some susceptible person to take it upon themselves to follow the ideology to its logical conclusions. And then you don't have to have a false flag because you've just poisoned the well, essentially.
The thing is, if you speak Arabic, so like this guy, it's not clear. Some people are saying he's Muslim. Some people are saying he was an Arab Christian, Ahmed Ahmed, who he went up, and the video is amazing. He went up to one of these guys and tackled him from behind and took the long gun away from him. And then the shooter apparently retreated back to the other shooter, got another gun, and this guy, Ahmed Ahmed, actually he got shot. Apparently he's stable, but needed like surgery and stuff. So there's a bunch of people who are criticizing him for letting the shooter get away and shoot more. And it's like, hey man, once you tackle somebody who's actively shooting people, like zero criticism. Nobody gets to criticize you after that. Just shut up. Could I Monday quarterback it? Maybe. But I mean, there's all these points about what would have happened if he had actually taken the gun and shot at people. And he may not have known how to operate the gun at all. I mean, we're talking, Yeah. Well, yeah, everybody says he's from Syria, but there's some question. There's a deer. There's some question on. That's a lot of deer you got there.
Get him.
Yeah.
Let's see.
See, they're not afraid of humans.
There we go. Big deer. Okay.
Yeah, look at the antlers on this guy.
How many points is that? 10? 8?
I don't know, something looks like 10, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, a 10-point deer. Shoot him now. But like this guy, honestly, he has family back in Syria. If he is a Muslim, like there's going to be fatwas issued against him for defending the Jews and the Christians and getting involved and stuff. And I'm more concerned about him and his family getting murdered than something happening at Hanukkah in the United States, at least this year.
To your own God, not all agencies work together. Sometimes they work against each other, and sometimes they are backstabbing each other. They are intelligence agency. They're not nice people. They don't work cooperatively.
Yeah. Okay, people. I am probably going to leave in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Well, everyone on here is an admin, so any of you could keep this going. Let me post the link just in case there's people like Yon God who might want to start. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to study for my test. I'm really not worried about it. Yeah. Thank you, Cassandra. What do you guys think of doing the showing on screen thing? That's as big as it gets.
I mean, if you're on YouTube, most of the comments are coming through there, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much all the comments come on YouTube, but it would show. So this is me commenting on my own Twitch stream.
Right. I guess if there are multiple streaming locations and the comments are coming from YouTube from other channels, then it would aggregate them all here, yeah?
Yeah. And people can see like because it is on a time delay. There's like a 10-second delay. The only big thing is like you don't get to actually censor it and stuff, and yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It's been available for a while. I think a lot of people do use it. Keith Foskey uses it.
He's also a Calvinist.
He is a Calvinist. God have mercy on his soul. And recently, when somebody asked him a question about other religions, he's like, yeah, Judaism is like Islam. I'm like, you can't be a Christian and consider Judaism just like Islam. Sorry, that doesn't work. But That is what he said.
Is it closer to Islam than Christianity?
I don't think so. I think Judeo-Christian values. I mean, here we can play the video that Rabbi. Now I'm forgetting his name. Is it Fogelman? And Rabbi Schlanger. So this is the video that Rabbi Schlanger of blessed memory, may God avenge his blood, had pinned on his Twitter from last year. This is from last year, but
Here's the best response to combat anti-Semitism.
Just a little bit of light takes away the dark. Just a little bit of light, even just a spark. Just a little bit of light takes away the dark. Shine your light on me. Just a little bit of dancing in the light. Just a little bit of dancing feels so right. Just a little bit of dancing in the light. Dance the night away. Just a little bit of music for my soul. Just a little bit of music makes me feel whole. Just a little bit.
Here's the best response to combat anti-Semitism.
stop. There we go. But like, yeah, this is what Rabbi Schlanger had, posted, as opposed to, what do you think? Can you imagine a Muslim cleric going, the best response to Islamophobia is just a little bit of light and dancing? Sorry, not going to happen. Yeah.
Those lamps on top of cars, I don't remember at all. Last year, well, they're all over the place in Tel Aviv this year.
Yeah, they started back in the 60s and 70s with Chabad. In the United States. I mean, when I was in Israel 25 years ago, Hanukkah was still a very minor holiday. I mean, yeah, Hanukkah is a minor holiday. It's Chabad that's turned it into such a huge part of Jewish life over the past.
In what way minor?
First of all, it's Mida Rabbanan. It's not Mida Oraita. Second, so while it was instituted. I mean, it's part of Judaism. It's certainly not one of the three chagim. It's not a biblical holiday from a Jewish standpoint. There's no real isur of malacha, although there are people who, for the first half an hour that they light the candles, do not do malacha. That is a minhag some people have, and Jewish holidays generally have a thing. The liturgy is very minorly affected. There's no Musaf prayers. There's only a slight addition into the Amidah. It's not a special Amidah. And so for an Orthodox Jew, it's a very minor holiday.
Okay, for Orthodox Jews, yeah.
Yeah. And for a very long time, like for the people who didn't bother, like So Tisha B'Av and Hanukkah, Tisha B'Av is more of a strong holiday from an Orthodox Jewish standpoint than Hanukkah is. But what's because of its popularity, and it used to be less popular, I have to say, that before the 60s, very few people had even heard of Hanukkah. Like, just like the vast majority of Jews, you talk to them about Tisha B'Av, they have no idea what you're talking about. Or Asara B'Tevet, even more so, right? A lot of people had no idea what you were talking about when you talked about Hanukkah.
May I push back a little bit on this? Because
No, you may not. Yes. How are you doing, Kurt?
I'm doing well. So the reason I was listening for a little bit in the background, but the reason I came on was to push back on this notion because I think it depends on what level of abstraction you look at it. Because when we're talking about halacha, yes, it's strictly speaking a very minor holiday. But when you're looking at the spiritual or mystical significance of a victory over assimilation, I think you can argue that it's one of the most religious holidays because it's preserving the Jewish identity against the corrupting Greek philosophy.
Well, I mean, I would say that's true of all of our
Did young God hear you saying that, the corrupting Greek philosophy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's casus belli.
But, even beyond that, just historically, 50, 60 years ago, before the Rebbe made it a huge deal, and Kalonymus is absolutely right, 60 years ago, the vast majority of Jews, it wasn't, nowadays, there are more Jews who celebrate Hanukkah than go to synagogue on Yom Kippur. This was definitely not true 60, 70 years ago at all.
That's sad.
I'm not sure I agree with that because Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the Jewish liturgical calendar.
Wait, didn't you say that? Sorry, I might have misunderstood you. I thought you said that there's fewer Jews who go to Yom Kippur nowadays.
Right. Oh, yeah, that is sad that fewer Jews go to Yom Kippur than celebrate Hanukkah. But that also was not true 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah. And that's a little bit confusing for me because I thought the Jewish population has become more observant over the years with the higher Orthodox birth rate.
It has, and certainly Orthodox Jews take Yom Kippur more seriously than they do Hanukkah. But that's the Orthodox Jewish community. When you're talking about the vast majority of Jews, many of whom are secular or Reform or conservative, I'm guessing Reform synagogues are much more busy during Hanukkah than they are during the Yemim Noraim, which is, in a sense, bad. But I think when it comes down to it, the Rebbe understood that Hanukkah was had a capacity to be a light in the darkness today that Baruch Hashem, thank God, there are many Jews who have that connection to Judaism that they otherwise wouldn't have because of this minor holiday.
Yeah. So you would say, in response to my point about it being a victory over assimilation, is that that's basically what all Jewish holidays are in a sense commemorating?
I mean, you have a much harder time saying that about Yom Kippur, for example, but certainly you could make the same points about Pesach, about Purim, about the 4 temple fasts, about you could even say it about Shavuot, Pentecost, and maybe even Sukkot, right? It is a through line in the Jewish. You could definitely say it about Shabbat. It is a through line about Judaism that here I will quote myself. Why don't I quote myself? I am very good at quoting myself. There we go. That is a very small myself for you guys to see. Here's a bigger myself for you guys to see. The story of Hanukkah dedication is summarized by the Hasidic teaching, a little light pushes off much darkness. I didn't include the first. Oh, actually, I did include the first bracha. Okay. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the world, who sanctifies us with his commandments and commanded us to kindle lights of dedication. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the world, who performed miracles for our ancestors in their days during this time. And this third bracha is only said on the first night of Hanukkah, or the first time that someone does the mitzvah of lighting. So if you haven't lit yet, so tonight is going to be the second night, you would say this if you did not light on the first night. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the world, who prepared us, sustained us, and brought us to this time. It is a dark time of year, but we can bring warmth and light into it. It is our obligation, the command of our King. And then I included the Koran translation of Psalm, I believe 30 it is, Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit, Psalm and song at the dedication of the temple of David. I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried to thee and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from Sheol. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing to the Lord, O his pious ones, and give thanks to his holy name, for his anger endures for a moment. In his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Lord, by thy favor, thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou didst hide thy face, and I was frightened. I cried to thee, O Lord, and to the Lord I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Lord, and be gracious to me. Lord, be thou my helper. Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast loosened my sackcloth and girded me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praise to thee and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks to thee forever. And picture of the first night. But that is the tochen of Hanukkah, is in the darkness, light, in a moment of fright, in the night, looking forward towards the daylight. And that is something that weaves through basically all the holidays in a way.
Yeah, that makes sense because I was actually reading what's the name of the book? Oh, Orot by Rav Kook. And I was reading his section on Hanukkah, and he talked about this idea that the light of Judaism, because it has a divine spark in it, could beat out the Greek influence. But I forgot exactly. I think it was something about the klipot, but I don't know. It was high level stuff. But I was reading something about Rav Kook on it. Do you know, is reading that type of stuff, is that too high level for a Noahide?
I mean, certainly Chezi, I don't think, Chezi's a big fan of Rabbi Kook and would probably say, I mean, it's a level of detail. Rabbi Shulman would probably say it's not a good thing necessarily, and Chezi would Shirky would say that it's just fine. The question is to what end and to what end are you reading it, and what are you getting out of it?
The main thing I'm getting out of it is an understanding of basically the moral teachings of the mystical tradition within Judaism and the essential values and the structure of reality.
Yeah, Rabbi Schulman would probably say that's not the point of Noachides engaging with Jewish literature.
Okay.
But I mean, Rabbi Schulman, he is one of several rabbis. It is good to pick a rabbi like Rabbi Wiener, Rabbi Shirky, Rabbi Schulman, Rabbi Rabbi Shochat passed away already, but he did have his own shita. Rabbi Breitowitz, Rabbi Schwartz passed away again, but he also had a shita where he discussed a lot of these things. But it's good as a Noachide to pick a rabbi and stick with that rabbi.
So far, I'm a big fan of Rav Shirky.
Rabbi Shirky is a halachic decisor of some note, and you are perfectly justified in choosing to follow his opinions, even if he is a Zionist. God have mercy upon all of us.
Yeah. And if I may, also, another thing is also not on top of the thing, I also try and look into Musar literature. So I'm planning on eventually reading more of the Chofetz Chaim's work on Musar and Lashon Hara.
Chafetz Chaim did not do much work on Musar. His works on Lashon Hara are halachic works. I am not sure those laws apply to Gentiles, and I'm not sure Noachides would have an easy time understanding the things that do apply to them and don't apply to them. That sounds like a level of probably Chafetz Chaim is not what I would. Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler might be a much better, or even the Chovot Levavot. I think the Chovot Levavot's Duties of the Heart is probably something I would recommend before diving into.
Okay. Yeah. The reason I was mentioning the Chofetz Chaim was because I was taught by some rabbis that the laws of Lashon Hara might apply to Noachides, even if not as halacha as Derek Eretz.
They may.
Because
They may. I would be very careful about that because, especially there are, this is the thing with a halachic work, especially works such as those of the Chafetz Chaim, when he is describing particular halachot, he is describing what the halacha is in that case, and it's not something that can easily be extrapolated to general practicalities. It's a question of priorities and applying those priorities correctly. So I would be very, very careful about individually trying to, it takes a posek to read the Chafetz Chaim on Lashon Hara and decide how that would apply in the lives of a Noachide.
I'll ask a local Orthodox rabbi if I have any specific questions.
Yeah, that was my question. Is it advisable to make a famous internet rabbi your rabbi, since you're probably not going to be able to get much questions?
Rabbi Schulman, Rabbi Shirky, and Rabbi Breitowitz all will answer individual questions. If you send them a question and they feel they have the time and it's a worthy question, they will definitely answer you.
Yeah.
All three of them, I believe Rabbi Shirky the problem with Rabbi Shirky is his English is his third language, probably fourth language, and so, but I believe even he has a public email. Not that I'm sure he can. I am amazed at Rabbi Shulman and Rabbi Breitowitz answering as many emails as they have for me personally, and they do for Noachides, etc. But having a shita of a posek like Rabbi Schwartz, Rabbi Shochat, Rabbi Shirky, Rabbi Shulman, why all of them start with that's funny. Rabbi Breitowitz will also allow you to then, for example, when you ask Rabbi Mullet a question, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Rabbi Mullet is still listening. I'm pretty sure Rabbi Mullet, for example, like me, considers if like you were to ask me which shita I believe, like if I was a Noahide, I would go with, it would be Rabbi Breitowitz, right? Oh, Rabbi Mullet is here. So if you're going to ask Rabbi Mullet a question, it is highly advisable to say to Rabbi Mullet something like, what would Rabbi Breitowitz, or what would Rabbi Shulman, or what would Rabbi Wiener, or what would, I by the way, I am probably going to have Rabbi Burton on again. Rabbi Burton is another person that, yes, he is both posek and somebody you can rely on, and somebody you can get in contact with. He will respond to you. And frankly, I highly, highly recommend him. Rabbi Breitowitz, Rabbi Shulman, I would pick one of those three. Rabbi Shulman, Rabbi Breitowitz, Rabbi Burton, personally. And then you can actually go to a rabbi like Rabbi Mullet, who himself is not a decizer, and ask him, what do you think Rabbi so-and-so would, and that's how halacha generally works. So when I was observant myself, hello, Mr. Tiedemann.
Hello. What rabbi am I supposed to be asking about what?
We are discussing if someone is a Noachide and wants to ask somebody who has the authority to bind and loose it on earth as in heaven, what they should do, right? Rabbi Shulman, I meant Rabbi Moshe Shulman, I believe it is, who has the Facebook group for Noachides. Although I do believe, yes, there's a different Rabbi Shulman who's a posek in New Jersey, I believe, but I'm not aware that he paskins for Noachides. Anyway, when you ask somebody like Rabbi Mullet, who himself is not a decizer, what he will do is he will give you, you can say which he will give you a decision from somebody who is a decizer, and you can say that you follow a particular thing. So when I was in yeshiva, I would ask, for example, Rabbi Samet, who really could have paskined halacha himself and did, but I don't know if Rabbi Samet was still there when you were there, or Rabbi Mullet, probably. But I would say I follow Rav Ovadia Yosef, and he would give me halachic psak. Although one time he said, Rabbi Ovadia says X, Y, and Z. Oh, Rabbi Shulman is, I am not aware. Oh, is he a Chabad?
I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about.
I think I know who he's talking about, and my only reservation is that if it is the person I am thinking of, there is one rabbi who is very involved with Noachides, who is not part of official Chabad, and he is affiliated with what's called a Beis Menachem, and that is a red flag for anyone involved in Chabad, because they tend to be on a level. I am personally not comfortable endorsing anyone who is from the Chabad community who is affiliated with the Beis Menachem movement, especially because the Rebbe set up Agudat Hasidei Chabad, which is the official organization of Chabad, in such a way that people can only use the name Chabad if they are under the supervision of Chabad Rabbanim, and people who get involved in Beis Menachem, they are specifically people who are not allowed to use the term Chabad. So
you could just find any Christian. They have the authority to bind and loose.
Do they? Do they actually? Okay. Yeah.
Here's another alternative. You could just be a Christian, and then you have the authority to bind and loose and forgive sins.
Apparently, some Christians believe that. Although I think vast majority of Christians wouldn't know heter from iser if it hit them on the head.
Yeah.
It does bring up the question. Like this is an interesting thing that I feel like a lot of people in this whole Noahide Eastern Orthodox, like they're trying to find something that feels like it has authority.
Wait. Don't conflate those two. Noahide Eastern Orthodox.
Well, why people are curious in those things is because people are trying to look for something that feels like it has inherent institutional authority.
I think it's different qualitatively, but they're both real phenomena, I think. But real quick though, before we get on this thread, Jacob, so like my local Chabad rabbi who may get to know me personally or like have the ability to do so, if he's not a posek,
Which he probably is not.
So he will basically say, hey, I'm not qualified necessarily on that question or whatever. He might not be comfortable making a decision. And so he'll run it up the chain kind of on my behalf, right? Like, and then, because I'm just thinking like with Rabbi Bredowitz, right? Like some things are going to be very, I mean, you can front load your question with all the context, right?
Right.
Hopefully you give them enough context where they can just.
It's very hard. This is part of the reason why the hierarchy exists. Right?
Yeah.
And this is the thing, like I do communicate with various poskim, with various rabbinic decisors, but when I ask a question on someone else's behalf, like I could definitely word a question in a way where I know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, right.
Right? So I try to word it correctly so that I get their actual answer, but an answer is going to depend on what your question was. You know?
By the way, what is the question? What is in specifically that you want to know?
For example, let's say how this started is, for example, would it be Lashon Hara for a Christian to tell their parents that their neighbor is a convicted sex offender? That's a genuine halakhic question, which may be different for a Noahide than it is for a Jew. I'm not saying it is different, but it would take a rabbinic decisor to say if the halacha in that situation is the same for a Gentile as it is for a Jew.
Sam, you can come back now.
I actually have a halakha question if you feel qualified to paskin.
No, just ask it.
Okay.
I'm not qualified to paskin. Second, I should say that looking at the asknoah.org website, it looks like it is perfectly legit and not the person I was thinking of. So I may have been thinking of the absolute wrong person. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
Yes, Kirk. What were you saying?
So I was just going to say, so if would cultured meat theoretically be considered limb from a living animal? Because to my understanding, the way cultured meat works is they cut flesh off of a living animal and they reproduce it in a laboratory. So would the reproduced meat be considered like flesh from a living animal?
There are definitely people who are addressing these questions, and it would take a halakhic decider to decide that. I do know that various people have brought up the problem that it might actually the halacha there might be different for a Jew as opposed to a Gentile.
Okay. Yeah, because I've asked the question on Miodea before, but I don't think Miodea is generally reliable, to my understanding.
A lot of the people who post there are actual rabbis, but yeah, not sure I would rely upon that.
So, Yoav, are you lighting the menorah this Hanukkah?
He showed me his list.
I have. If you scroll back this broadcast 2 hours back, you will see it.
Kirk, you got to get used to listening to things at 4x so you can catch up quick.
You have to pay for 4x. You can do up to 2x for free. Yeah.
That was 2 hours ago.
1x, everyone sounds drunk.
Yeah, I usually listen to things at 1.5 speed.
Although
So,
that Rabbi
the-
Lori, I
the-
can't listen to that fast.
This was my menorah, but it's now
No longer lit.
not only because it's 10 o'clock already here.
What was Sam asking about?
Wasn't.
He jumped on in the night.
He kind of sort of brought up the idea, like, why aren't Noachites just Christians?
No, he was not asking. He was recommending as a solution to a problem.
It was a rhetorical question, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a solution to the problem.
Well, I mean,
No, the solution, if you're a Christian, then you don't have to ask the rabbis. Then you don't have to ask which rabbis to ask.
I hate to say this, but within Christian, like, is it Matthew 23 I'm thinking of? Am I thinking of Matthew 23? Who knows what I'm thinking of?
Only you do, Jacob.
I don't, because I never read Matthew, so.
Yes, it is me. Let us read Matthew 23, as Jews often do on the first day of Hanukkah.
Second day.
Second day now. Yeah, there. Yes. So, Matthew 23, and we'll do it in the King James Version just to stick it to the whatchamacallit.
The NIV folks.
Yeah. No, to the KJV only folks. The anti-Semites hate it when you quote the KJV. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. And so there are many Christians who, in light of Matthew 23, have been asking the rabbis questions because they realize who sits in the seat of Moses and who does not. So I wonder what Sam would say to that. Jacob always says what he hates to say. That's sort of a funny thing. Yeah.
Jesse said he was going to sleep because he has an exam.
To sleep?
You said you were going off the broadcast an hour ago.
Yeah, but people started asking me about Noahide.
You said you weren't even going to study anyway because you just have to take your.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm probably not going to study, and the test is in 3.5 hours.
I mean, what's the average IQ of a LSW student, anyways?
Oh, this isn't even for my MSW class. This is for my substance abuse, and half the people are ex-cons.
They're already they're.
Yeah, like I'm not exactly precisely worried about how I'm going to do on this test. Yes.
Half the people studying are ex-cons. That's
Half the
interesting.
people in the class are taking the class because it is a condition of their parole.
Takes one to know one, Kirk.
That makes sense. But I thought, generally speaking, substance abuse treatment and social work were like very female-heavy fields, and there's a higher male criminal
No.
population.
Social work, yes. Substance abuse, no. And yes, there are many females in my class who are ex-cons. Yes. I would say a majority of the people in the class are either recovering addicts or, well, no, the vast majority are recovering addicts. But of those people, probably a majority of the people in the class have been, are felons.
Yoav is typing.
Oh no, I'm typing. I'm typing furiously. Sorry. It's usually my microphone will squelch that. Yeah. So why be Noahide at all? I guess we could just be Christian. Evidently, everyone thinks that's okay nowadays.
Well,
I can't unsee it. You can't put the cat back in the bag. You can't put something back in the bottle.
Rabbi Mullets is one of the people, although he's not a decider, who believes that. I think he's more of he's more of a proponent for. He's more of a proponent for a muscular Noahidism. The thing is, halakhically, like a rabbi whose job and poskim, like decisors, their job is to tell you if something is permissible or not. And they tend to try as much as possible to say that things are permissible because they don't want to say things are impermissible. And that is part of a job of a posek, is to find how things, like to bind and loose, but to favor loosing over binding, right? And so I don't know of any posek who is going to say that being a Christian is forbidden for Gentiles. Like that would be binding a lot of people in the world in ways that rabbis just aren't going to do.
yeah, but like, I think the response to Sam's question about why don't Noahides become Christians is it's like, why get the Diet Coke version when you can get regular Coke? Right? If being a Christian for Noahide is just Diet Noahidism, why not go for the full thing?
I mean, my major answer to that question is one of community. I pointed this out to Rabbi Shulman as well, Rabbi Moshe Shulman, that like individual human beings are like, it's not good for man to be alone. And so it is a very lonely path to be a Noahide these days. And that's not good.
Well, wait a minute. Good for man to be alone has to do with getting married.
It has to do with getting married, and I think it also has to do with community and Yishuv Haaretz, which is one of the obligations of Yishuv Ha'olam, sorry, not Yishuv Haaretz. Yeah, Yoav's the only one who understands that distinction, but anyway. But it is incumbent on Noahides, and one of the 7 commandments is a communal commandment to establish laws according to most people. And so, and my dog is destroying something, I don't know what. But yeah, it's, I mean, I think it's something that rabbis are going to have to contend with more, which is, I don't think it's a good thing that Noahides don't have much of community.
But that's not true. That's not true. I got tons of community. I just don't go to a church. I don't do a liturgical thing.
I will be back.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, every Orthodox shul I've been to has been accepting of Noahides. I haven't been to an Orthodox shul that doesn't accept Noahides attending their services. So it's not like you can't get community there. Now, if you don't live near a Jewish community, then I think there's an argument to be made that, should Noahides go to church at that point? But there, you can find probably a Jewish community in most places in America.
Why do you need to go to church? Let's say you live where there's no Jews at all. There's no Chabad house there, which, huge if true. There's usually a Chabad house everywhere. But why would you need to go to church? If you have family,
no Chabad house,
you have friends, you've got community through various political institutions or whatever, right? Why do you need to go to church as a Noahide, and why is that? What irreducible itch does that scratch?
Well, I think that it's good to pray in community, right? I think that religious matters are inherently intersubjective, or not. I mean, I'm not going to say inherently intersubjective. That's an absolutist claim. But when you're talking about what it means to be part of a community, part of religion is the communal elements of religion, communal liturgy. And so I think if you don't live near a Jewish community, then perhaps going to church might be your next best thing. Now, if you would personally rather not go to church because of the theological disagreements, I think that's a respectable position. But I wouldn't poo-poo anyone for going to church if they're a Noahide.
I'm not necessarily poo-pooing anybody here.
Okay.
Well, that's a separate thread. So if I'm a Noahide that finds myself in, I don't know, Hindu land or something, and that's where the religious community is, would it be recommended to just throw in the towel and go pray with them?
Well, I don't know whether or not Hinduism is considered idolatry or not, so you'd have to ask someone who knows more about that than I do.
Okay.
Because I don't know the halacha regarding Hinduism. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay. Let's make up a stylized, totally idolatry. Everybody gets it. Everybody believes it. Then should a Noahide abstain?
If it's total idolatry, then yes, you should abstain.
Okay, but what if there's no other religious community for the Noahide to pray with?
Then you're gonna have to. I think at that point you should be on your own. Like.
Okay, and what if that is just fine and ducky for you as a Noahide? Like, what are you missing out on? Is there a commandment that you're not following? Is there a psychological or personal detriment to your life through that?
What is the circumstance you're asking about?
There are no non-idolatrous religious communities for me to have a religious relationship of any sort with.
Then at that point, I think you should just be on your own. You shouldn't. It's better to not go pray than pray to an idol.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. I am obviously not a decisor, and this is a question for rabbinic decisors. But I will say, one, it's a really big question what constitutes idolatry for a Gentile.
Mm-hmm.
And Rabbi Shulman has been dealing with people from India who have been asking him questions as Noahides. And I would be very surprised if people would not be surprised by some of the answers Rabbi Shulman has given those people. Second, I believe there is some disagreement among the decisors who have looked into this about whether or not a Gentile is even permitted to sacrifice his life in order to avoid idolatry. And so, in the case of a danger to life, certainly, and what constitutes a danger to life, I think people need to be a little bit more understanding. But so it's not clear that, let's say you were a member of a Amazonian tribe that was participating in absolute idolatry, right? That and not participating in it would basically be like, everybody would be like, get out of the village, right? That you would be, and you somehow had perfect knowledge of Torah and Halakha, the halachic answer would be that you should be willing to go into exile instead.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I adjusted my example to just say, let's just pretend some religion that doesn't actually exist in reality, but it's totally idolatrous and nobody disputes it. In that situation, what's the generalized abstract answer? And my point isn't even necessarily to make the case that, like, nothing about Christianity. There's nothing in the Noahide laws, and there's nothing about human psychology, I think, or just human needs, right, in the non-religious sense, that I'm questioning the assumption that having some kind of a church community equivalent is necessary. So if you couldn't go to a Chabad or a synagogue to attach yourself in some way, informally or partially or however is appropriate, like it's not as if
I've mentioned the possibility of going to a Masonic lodge.
Yeah, I mean,
or even like a Lions Club.
Sure. I mean, and it's all fine and good. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think there's just this assumption that it's incomplete to have. I mean, like Jewish women don't necessarily go to synagogue, right?
They don't, but they do have women's groups, etc.
Sure. And I mean, like, there's all sorts of informal groups, civic institutions, and otherwise that people join and are a part of. And it's not as if Noahides just like literally like live on the moon. They live in a community.
I agree with that.
They just have their weekends to themselves.
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of people who imagine that even that level of societal involvement, like just be on a sports team, find yourself a softball group, right? Like that isn't a minimum for human existence, and I think it is.
Yeah. I think we all agree community is important, which is why, at your recommendation, Jacob, I have joined an economics community.
Very nice.
It's actually an Austrian economics community, but it's the only one I could find online for non-academics.
Sounds very, very interesting. Yeah.
Wait, what time is it in Israel, Yoav? Do you say it's 10 a.m.?
No, it's late.
Oh, he may have said 10 p.m.
You are muted.
It's either 9 or 10:20.
10:20, yeah, 10:20. Yeah, but time enough. Don't have to get up very early tomorrow.
What you
Yeah,
eating there?
is Hanukkah treated kind of like a somewhat holiday at work?
It's not a holiday except all the kids are at home. So
Children get off of school for Hanukkah?
yep, this is why you have so many theater shows.
Do you think that's a good idea, Jacob? Should children get Hanukkah off? Jewish children?
I think most yeshivas don't actually give Hanukkah off. Oh, I'm not sure, but I mean, like most schools are closed in the United States.
What are you eating?
Prunes
Something from Costco.
from Costco.
I hope those bugs have been tracked.
They're not
That's
gonna live long.
You, I'm pretty sure. Who is calling me now? I have no idea who's calling.
So, Jonathan, are you not near any sort of Jewish community as of now?
No, I am actually near one, so I do have that option.
Is there a reason you don't go to synagogue then?
It's a weak reason. Well, no, it might be actually a strong reason. Yeah, there's a reason.
Okay. And what is the reason?
Well, the reason is that it would be disruptive to family life.
Okay, fair enough. Family is one of the number one priorities, to my understanding. In Judaism, family is
Mostly
very important.
logistically. Leaving my wife with 4 kids is probably the bigger issue. It's not so much that I'm going to some bad house.
Yeah. I mean, I think in family circumstances, that is another question that I think Noahides are going to have to ask themselves. Like, if you're marrying non-Noahide, non-Jewish partners, what exactly is the relationship going to be there? Because, like, yes, I talk like
Be
a
nice,
robot.
Yanni.
Okay, Yanni, sure. But like in all seriousness, no. Like I think when we're talking about should Noahides go to a shul or whatever, that there is a family dynamic aspect. But then the question is, should Noahides marry other Noahides? And if so,
Good
I mean,
luck.
not as a halakhic requirement, but just as an ethical thing. And I'm curious what Jacob's perspective is on that.
Good luck. Like that's the thing. Like a Noahide should get married, and if you're going to turn this into an obligation, like if they're not already married when they become a Noahide, what are you actually going to end up like doing to that person?
Just go find yourself a nice non-religious girl.
I'm not sure that's better than finding yourself a nice Christian girl. I'm not sure if most rabbis would say that's better than finding yourself it would be nice if you can find yourself a nice Unitarian Christian girl.
I mean, presumably the best option
Oneness
is finding.
Pentecostals.
No, here's the thing. The best source would be just nice, non-religiously affiliated, theistic girls who are kind of just down for whatever, but not particularly interested. You know, they're not fully committed Christians.
Good luck ordering up exactly.
No, that's go live in a big city.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just
I mean-
push on people a little bit who say they're atheists. And it's like, oh, kind of agnostic. It's like, okay, well, now we're getting somewhere, right?
Okay. What if she reads her astrological thing in the paper every day?
That's okay.
Is it?
Yes, I think it is, right? She's not worshiping that stuff, and it's real stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, but you don't. Is she praying to the constellations? No. And that stuff's just garbage anyway. So even if she's really into astrology for real, you know what? She'll find Judaism just great. Actually, a lot of New Agey stuff would probably be pretty Jewish adjacent. Try saying that 5 times. Jewish adjacent.
I mean, ideally you would find another Noahide girl, but the problem is
No, it doesn't. No, we're all. Everyone's so close to Noahide already. Everyone's just off by 1 or 2 ticks.
Yeah.
You're 90% of the
think-
way there. You don't complicate it by introducing Shatu for idolatry or other religions into the mix. Just find someone who's happily unaffiliated, and there's not a whole lot to add.
Yeah, I think if you find someone who's like spiritually searching, quote unquote, that would probably be better than like a hardcore fundamentalist Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I said oneness Pentecostals, actually, when you know enough about the Trinity, a oneness Pentecostal is much more idolatrous than a monarchical Trinitarian.
Sure. And the thing is the Trinity is not the only thing about Christianity that's potentially idolatrous, right?
What's the other things?
I don't know, believing that there's some other power in the world that runs the world and not God.
Oh, yeah, Satan is the fourth member of the Trinity, but that's part of the Trinity, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Unitarians could believe that just fine.
Yeah, then they become Manichaeans, yeah.
Hey, if the shoe fits.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm just saying there's Christianity's on the decline. There's plenty of nice secular girls out there who... Now, they might be upset with some of the Noahide laws. I mean, they're not always very woke, but that's... Maybe just find a good... I don't know.
What would it be upset by?
I mean, the purity laws are not always particularly popular.
Which purity laws?
Oh, I don't know. Like, they're not the purity. You know, the being euphemistic, but the improper sexual relations.
Oh, yeah. So,
Right. I mean, there's some implications there around, like, you know.
Yeah. Gay sex and stuff, yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Although it gets pretty specific, so I mean, there's a little bit of leeway there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And yeah.
God willing, one day there'll be a Noahide dating app. I mean,
Don't hold your breath.
By the time that happens, there's going to be Noahide synagogues already.
Yeah.
I had a question. You said that Hanukkah is the holiday of triumph over the Greek philosophy. What is the worst that you find in Greek philosophy?
well, to my understanding, I mean, I haven't looked deep enough into it, but from rabbis I've heard describe Greek philosophy, I've often heard that it's materialistic and very selfish and very against supporting others. I mean, I'm not going to say they're all the same. I'm not going to say Aristotle and Plato and Heraclitus and Parmenides. I'm not going to say they're all, the same philosophy, but I've heard that generally things like materialism and lack of belief in a transcendent power are issues with Greek philosophy.
Okay, but do you personally have any grudge against Greek philosophy?
Do I personally have I think it would
Yeah.
depend on the element in Greek philosophy. Which Greek philosophy are you talking about?
I mean, what is your worst, in your eyes, what is the worst offense of Greek philosophy ever?
I think it's materialism. To the extent that there were Greek materialists, I think that's the worst Greek philosophy out there. Does that answer your question, Yoav?
Well, it's an answer. I just didn't know that materialism was invented in Greece, I think. First there was materialism and then there was philosophy.
I mean, I know there's Democritus and Leucippus and the ancient Greek atomists, but yeah. I have a completely unrelated question as well, but I don't know if Jacob would like to entertain that. Is it true that there's no prohibition of first cousin marriage in Judaism, like Claire told me?
Yeah, there's no prohibition of. I mean, people just generally don't do it anymore. But it's not prohibited. I mean, I have family members who are double cousins and stuff. So yeah, like you have to realize the Jewish community was very, very small. So yeah. Although,
Okay.
I mean, I think pretty much any rabbi would say that you want to pick somebody who genetically you would have a healthy child with. So, in effect, it isn't anything people do anymore.
Okay, yeah, because I was criticizing Islamic communities for having cousin marriage to a high extent, and she was saying there's no biblical prohibition of it as a defense of it.
Well, there are plenty of things that are not prohibited in the Bible that are just plain bad ideas.
Yeah. So take that, Claire Call. You know, I would like to see what Claire has to say about this recent thing and this anti-Semitic thing that happened recently.
You mean in Australia?
Yeah.
Well, she would say that Muslims don't understand the Quran.
And she would be right.
Let's see. Jesus Christ, correct veterans.
I'm still wondering what happened in Brown University. That's not clear.
In Brown University?
Yep.
Yeah, same day.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. What happened?
We don't know.
Okay.
Somebody shouted something. That's all I know.
The shouting, we're not sure, but 2 people were murdered. So there are people who have claimed that certain words were shouted, but that has not been confirmed. And despite the fact, and the one person who was arrested has been released, and so. And the fact that Brown University has hundreds, well, at least tens of cameras, not any footage has been released, which is surprising.
Yeah. Do you say are you gonna say like Misha Berach for the people who were victimized recently?
Well, I mean, Misha Barracks are usually said in synagogue at the Torah.
Okay. Oh
It's-
yeah, Nino goes.
Yeah, it's a pretty reform thing to just spontaneously say Misha Barach out of nowhere. For
Okay. Because I thought Misha Berach was just a general prayer for healing.
It is, but it's generally said at a Torah scroll, and yeah, like Orthodox Jews, what they generally will do is just recite psalms for someone.
Okay. So how about you? Since you advise people to go to community a lot,
Yeah,
and there's a Misha Berach waiting to be said. I think now, and it's Hanukkah. I think that's there's a trio of reasons to go to shul this week.
that sounds like a great reason for me to go to shul.
Sorry about back on that. So also, I had another question, but do you want to wrap this up soon or?
Yes.
Okay.
To wrap this up. At
So-
the latest, at the top of the hour, unless Yoav or Jonathan feel like you can go.
I'll go to the top of the hour. We can all. I mean, if we want to all commit to that, it's nice.
So what I was going to ask is, recently I was asking Yoav and Hezi about their opinion on Zionism and anti-Zionism, and so is it true that that your position as a non-Zionist is that it's halakhically not okay to go to move to Israel?
No.
Okay, because I thought that's what Yoav was saying was your position. I could have been misinterpreting Yoav, but so it's not prohibited to move to Israel. The prohibition is on forming a state.
I mean, what the exact prohibition is various like there are various opinions. What is undisputed is that among non-Zionists is that whatever the Zionist project of Theodor Herzl and his friends was, it was not kosher to be involved in, and it hasn't somehow fundamentally changed since it was founded.
And that's a fair point. My position is just, if it's considered a mitzvah to move to Eretz Israel, which to my understanding, some rabbis say it's still a mitzvah, correct me if I'm mistaken, then presumably forming a Jewish state, just pragmatically, would facilitate the mitzvah, meaning there's certain halakhic significance.
Okay, this is incredibly complicated. I am likely going to have a discussion with Rabbi Burton, who wrote an entire book and has many, many videos on this precise topic. And if you're actually interested, you may try to follow Rabbi Burton's videos or any number of other videos, including the ones that I made reading Maneh Chacham by Rabbi Joel Kahn. But honestly, this is so complicated, I'm not sure you're going to be able to speak intelligently to the discussion.
Okay, fair enough.
23 minutes is not enough time probably to give it a good treatment.
Not even close. How you doing, Ron?
Oh, not bad. I just got off work. I wanted to say hello and maybe get your insights on just the craziness that has occurred in Australia.
I mean, Australia, I would say, is the least craziness. I mean, it's a tragedy, but it appears to be a father-son Muslim team that decided that they were going to murder civilians, and they had more success than any reasonable human being should wish them, and it's a terrible tragedy. I don't know what else I could say about it.
Is it religiously? Oh, no, I'm cool with what you're saying. I just don't know, was it religiously motivated?
When you have a father-son team, like what appears to have happened, it's definitely at least ideologically motivated. I haven't seen a manifesto or any declaration from them. I've seen various pictures claiming that they were regularly attending a mosque, but you don't get a father-son team. Like, this wasn't just mental illness, right?
Right. Yeah.
But apparently, the father was a federally licensed, in the Australian context, licensed arms dealer. So,
okay.
Mental illness, I don't think is something you can. This was instrumental violence. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I okay, totally agree with you. So I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know. I should wait for more information and just lay low. I have questions about, is this not a cell, but religiously motivated, and I don't know, it just was, I was kind of disappointed at some of the responses in my small community when I was kind of looking for solace, to be honest with you. Maybe that was my fault after it happened, because I was just in shock. That's why I called you, by the way,
Yeah.
just to get my head together.
I mean, Konstantin Kisin said something which I believe is very, very true, which is that you look at a situation like this and you hope it's going to wake people up, and
Yeah.
then become very surprised when you see how few people actually wake up and
Yeah.
recognize what is going on in their lives and what is going on in the world.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, this is like, people should be recognizing that this is not the type of world we want to live in. That this is like, there is it isn't just a random event.
Right.
Yet a lot of people so far, I mean, I don't know if you read he may have done a statement after that, but certainly the first statement that the Prime Minister of Australia put out was woefully unspecific to the reality of the situation.
Okay. I gotta tell you something. I will, because I was feeling incredibly bummed out. I was happy that the guy who stopped the shooters, one of the guys, was a Muslim fella. And
I have seen various things. Most people have said yes, he was a Muslim. Some people have said he was a Arab Christian.
oh, okay.
Honestly, I am happy he did it.
Yeah.
I'm worried about him and his family because there could be a lot of repercussions.
Yeah.
And I don't think, Netanyahu initially thought he was Jewish, but later actually said he's a Muslim.
Right.
But ultimately, I think this goes back to a point I've been making to a lot of people, which is Muslims and Middle Eastern Christians understand the situation a lot better than a lot of the woke people in the United States.
Yeah.
They understand that this is something they have to fight against and risk their lives to fight against.
Okay.
And I think that's more the reality of the situation with Ahmed al-Ahmed than, frankly, Western people recognize.
Repeat that last part. He said what?
I think as somebody from the Middle East, he recognized in the moment that he has to confront what this is.
Yeah.
And that's great, but like it's just like let's put it this way. There was a protest by Australians at that beach or in support of Palestinians wearing keffiyehs.
Yeah.
Within hours of the murders.
Oh.
And
really?
Yeah. And like I think that's emblematic too of what's going on.
Because I'm driving, did you say there were protesters they were doing what at the?
They were pro-Palestine protesters.
Yeah.
Wearing keffiyehs.
Yeah.
Put up at the location of the murders.
Okay, so that's the world we're living in. Is that about it?
Apparently, that is the world we're living in. I find it absolutely shocking that would be. I mean, apparently, this is what's going on in Australia. I don't know what to say.
Okay, see, when I did a live stream yesterday and I took it down because I was pretty disappointed at the conversation. It went political. Like, I'll be honest, I was just mourning, and just trying to talk it out. And there were some people who came on. I'm not going to use names. It doesn't matter. It's just what it was. It immediately went to Israel and all the Palestinians that have been killed, and there were only, the proportion of death wasn't proportionate to the kidnapping and killing of Israelis, and that someone said, and someone in conjunction with that, because we were talking about violence, and one person said, well, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. And when they said it, I didn't even know how to respond to that. I'm like, and it was pointed out to me, what they were kind of saying is, and because I talked with someone else about it, they're pretty much saying they had it coming to them.
Yep.
Okay, wow. Is that anti-Semitism that I've just been totally blind to by some people?
I don't know if it's anti-Semitism. It may be incredible ignorance of what. When someone says things don't happen in a vacuum,
yeah,
they're implying that they understand the greater context of the situation.
Right.
And somebody who understands the greater context of the situation should understand, if that's how you're doing it, then Israel should be murdering Palestinians by the millions, but they're not.
Right. Okay. And then they also, the conversation devolved pretty bad because they wanted me to say that Israel was committing genocide, and could I at least see that? And I'm like, I did say I don't like anybody getting killed, Palestinian, Israeli, Uyghur, or any folk, and that wasn't acceptable to them.
Yeah, this is classic Darvo. Deny. I forget what Darvo stands for. Reverse victim and oppressor, right? They are turning the actual victim into the oppressor, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And honestly, plenty of people get caught up in that because they're just ignorant.
This is a smart person.
I don't know who you're talking about.
And I won't use names, but these are not dumb people.
Well, if they're not dumb people, then they're evil people.
I'm not good at debating or arguing or on the fly because I actually got adrenaline going the stream. I got fear. And I just told him, like, dude, I can't do this. The adrenaline's pumping. And so I have time now to take it apart with you. And it was one other person. And they pretty much came up with the same answer as you did, but I wanted to run it by you. Has Israel, and this is the last thing I'll run by you that they said, that Israel has been charged with war crimes or genocide, I think, by some court.
Yeah, the International Criminal Court has said it is possible that Israel is committing genocide. If Israel is committing genocide, then Saudi Arabia certainly did, but the International Criminal Court doesn't care. And Hamas certainly did, and the Palestinian Authority certainly did, and many other countries, including the United States, certainly did. This is a question of unequal justice, of bringing Jews to a standard that you don't hold anyone else to, and that is classical anti-Semitism.
Okay, now this is something I said, and they pushed back hard. I said if Hamas or whoever's in charge gave the hostages back,
Right.
I thought Israel would immediately stop, and they said they blew up. They're like, no. They or I said, do you think if Hamas gave the hostages back earlier in the game
Yeah.
that they would have stopped? I said yes, and they went, oh no, and they attacked. Well, they just said no. It would.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at the situation. When Hamas gave the hostages back, Israel stopped killing Palestinians, and Hamas started killing Palestinians.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if I don't know how much this person actually knows about what's going on in the Middle East. They may be ignorant. They may believe a lot of things that a lot of stupid people, including our media, say, right? There's a lot of people who listen to MSNBC and believe everything that MSNBC says. And these people appear to be intelligent human beings.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about that?
I guess, but the reason I'm running this by you is because I'm getting information here because I couldn't do it in the moment. You know, it was just, it was a bad scene. But now I've got enough. What I'm getting from you is, okay, I answered correctly. Even if I was clumsy, I was still, what am I doing here? Why? Dude, I got rushed on my own stream and I didn't know enough to just shut it down. Because I'm not, either I'm new to it or it's like flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
I think I froze. You know, I'm like, okay, but I'm working on that. And I did have the wherewithal to go slow and talk like I am now and asking questions, and they got angry at that about me. And I'm like, once you start attacking the person, you've lost the argument, you know, you've lost the conversation at that point. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to realize in a real way is like okay, it's time to kill it's hunting season for the Jews. Like, how many tags do you have? And there is no limit. And, you know, that's where I'm like, okay, is everything a soft target now?
Look, if somebody doesn't realize like, how many Arabs are there in the world? How many Jews are there in the world?
Yeah.
How many Arab countries are there in the world? How many Jewish countries are there in the world?
Yeah.
Who the terrorists are? If you you don't understand who the bad people are, this is the goats and the sheep, like separating themselves. And you might just be a Hamas supporter. You might just be one of the bad people.
Yeah.
And at some point, we have to be able to say, okay, you're just evil.
Yeah.
You might be misguided or you're evil, but it's one of the two.
Yeah. Right. I'm trying not to be. I'm not gonna hate people I don't want to hate Muslims. I'm not gonna hate Muslims. I'm not that kind of guy. But it's like, how do I not paint a very wide brush? And because of my experience and what I'm seeing, and I'm looking for pushback on this. Like, I want to know where I'm wrong. Like, yes, there are some evil Muslims, and I'm sure that someone would say, well, there's evil Christians and they're evil whatever. But I feel like for a season, for a time, or at least, or it's a chain. Things, the blood feud seems to have traveled by media or whatever into the West. Or
I don't think it's by media. I think a lot of it is actually through actual immigration.
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I agree with you. I do agree with you. Okay. Yeah.
There are people who have come to the United States from backwards cultures, and they've brought their backwards cultures to the United States, and we have the woke left, which is embracing, like, the Red-Green Alliance is something that existed back in the 70s.
Can you? I'm guessing what it is. What is that quickly, if you don't mind?
It's the alliance between the left in the United States and Western countries.
Okay.
Muslim extremism. Michel Foucault was on the airplane when Ayatollah Khomeini came back to Iran, and he was a advocate of the Islamic Revolution in Iran.
Right.
Western intellectuals who are leftists have long supported a version of Islamism that just won an election in New York. And I haven't read the Bret Stephens article yet, but in the New York Times today, but he was absolutely right when he said Bondi Beach is what globalizing the Intifada looks like.
Can you repeat that? You broke up a touch.
Bondi Beach, which is where the Sydney attack was, is what globalizing the Intifada looks like.
That's okay. And they just, a few days ago, I had some kids on campus with chalk saying that. It was like it was the young communist group with LGBTQ folk and some guy in, I don't know what you call it, the white.
Kafia.
And okay, I'll learn to pronounce it, but they wrote globalized Intifada, and I'm like, oh, that's stupid and evil. And so, all right.
It should not come as a surprise that communists and Islamists have arguments, because they're both evil.
So what I'm trying to do, like when I prayed for the fellow who stopped the attack, at that point I thought he was Islamic, and actually I felt joyful praying for him. I really blessed him, and because it was like I have one Islamic person that I know is not just my side but our side, and I speak as humanity. I'm like, and what am I trying to get at here? Because I'm trying to do something. I don't know if it's to avoid fear and hatred, and to really to find out if I'm wrong. And this is the last thing. All right, because I was told that this was maybe wrong to say that, and I said Islam has metastasized. This Islamic thought and fight has metastasized into the West. And it was a Jewish person who told me, don't say that, because that would imply that it's something to be killed.
Okay, so I do believe in a distinction between Islam and Islamism.
Okay.
I am aware of many faithful Muslims, including some on my Discord server, who are perfectly nice, good people.
Okay.
And it is their belief in the Quran and Islam which helps them be ethical, good people.
Yeah.
That does not change the fact that Islam, as it's practiced by the vast majority of Muslims, is a culture of death and evil.
Okay. See, that's because I guess what it is, it's funny is I don't want to become what they accuse me of, which is being a genocidal, Israel or Jewish people being genocidal. So I am like, oh, and by the way, and I've said this before and I don't care, like I came out of a church one time and an old Islamic fella, he looked at me and goes, first you get the Saturday people.
Then we get the Sunday people.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm like, this is when I first came to faith. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I figured it wasn't good, and then then I did figure it out. And then, okay, so that's one thing. All right, I'm gonna stop and say I'm trying to not let this emotion of what is it? It's like when any kind of shooting happens, not just for Jewish people, but it's not giving into hopelessness and so that's why I'm talking with you. I'm looking for pushback for where I'm wrong, but if I'm right, I think part of my problem is I don't stand up for myself enough. And I'm not talking about like taking arms. I'm talking about in the conversation, like, no, you're wrong. We can stop this now. And I don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
I was just checking to make sure. It looks like the latest information. Yeah, Ahmed Al-Ahmed is a Muslim and he's recuperating in the hospital, and God bless him.
Yeah.
Look, we have to be able to recognize that people can be evil and cultures can be evil, and people in evil cultures can be good people, and people in good cultures can be evil people. And that does not, one does not negate the other. Evil cultures are evil and they tend to make people worse than they are. And good cultures are good and they tend to make good people better and evil people better. And better is better than worse, and worse is worse than better.
I think what it is I'm starting to realize I may have to sort some of my friends, or at least tell them exactly I'm not giving into their notions that Israel is the evil empire, and I think actually this will help me. I'm not looking for a fight or to separate myself from people who have different opinions, but I'm realizing yesterday was just a bad scene for me, and it was. What I see is like there's not a lot of sympathy after a tragedy, or at least with my small group. I want to be careful, just the people that I talked with yesterday, and I'm like,
well, look at the debate people are having about Hitler and Winston Churchill, right? Wait,
give me this, Jacob. Okay, here's the headline: Hitler, not such a bad guy.
Exactly. So look, let's face it. Hitler was not the epitome of all evil, and we should not make him a Satan figure. And Winston Churchill was certainly no Jesus.
Right.
But if you can't tell that Winston Churchill was a better person than Adolf Hitler, you might just have your moral compass wrong. And if you can't tell that the United States and Israel are on the right side, and Iran and North Korea and Putin are on the wrong side, you might just not have a very good moral compass.
Correct. So it's on a large scale. How do you adjust someone's moral compass to scale? And I'm just asking. I'm not.
Yoav is shaking his head, and I have to
I
agree with
saw
him.
that.
Sure,
I-
I'm not sure you can adjust somebody else's moral scale.
Okay. So what happens next, or how do I, as a, and I won't just say Christian, but as a loving person, not
Yeah.
even like, I guess I was going to say, how do I navigate this? I guess navigate in love and just deal with it.
Well, I'll quote my favorite Christian in the world, Paul of Tarsus, when he says that sometimes you have to give people up to Satan.
I'm listening.
That
Okay.
I believe is in 2 Corinthians
Yeah.
9-ish,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Some people have a depraved mind, and you have to recognize, like, I am not capable of changing this person.
That's true. Good. Thank you. Like that, I might use that. Like, all right, dude, you're on your own. Like, I ain't cursing you, but I'll see you when you get straightened out. Like, I've been straightened out, so I didn't like it, but needed it.
This is part of actually believing in God, right? There's a
Okay.
reason why when we say Hashem yinkom damav of somebody who was murdered, we say may God avenge his blood,
Okay.
right? Because there are times when you have to say, okay, I am going to leave this to God.
Would that be blessed those that curse you, pray for those who spitefully you do, and then end game is Father forgive them, they know not what they do, or is that something different?
I would say it's related, but I would say it is kind of different.
Okay.
I think Christians sometimes take the Father forgive them part a little bit too far.
I'm asking, I'm not telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell Christians what to believe or not, but there certainly within Judaism there is an idea of judgment, and at some point, while we hope everyone repents, at some point you just have to say, hey, dude, like some things need to be burnt in the fire.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
this is why I'm not a universalist.
Yeah, I know. I'm not either. I'm not. Yes. Okay. I think that answers. Thank you. I appreciate you guys letting me get this out. It's been rattling around in my heart since yesterday.
I would like to make things a bit more complicated for you.
Okay.
As we've just said, there are forces in the West that are, in our judgment, evil, that are related historically to communism, and are making an unholy alliance with radical Islam. Israel is, in that sense, a part of the West.
Yes.
And as much as Israel is a part of the West, then you will find in Israel people who are, in our judgment, evil, and who are historically related to communism, and are making alliances with radical Islam. Just as you will find them in Australia, and you will find them in the UK, and you find them in America. Which explains a lot. If you take this into account, and that will make your task of making your friends and relatives see the light, that will complicate your job no end. Because they would say, well, the Israelis themselves has admitted this, and the Israelis themselves have admitted that.
Mhm.
So you have to ask, which Israelis? Same way that you have to ask which American. Same as you have to ask which Palestinians. The Middle East is an extremely complicated place.
Okay. If I would have said that yesterday, that would have helped the conversation, I think. But actually, I like that. I don't. You say it'd make it more complicated.
Yes, because you will have to make some amazingly unbelievable claims following that. And if you were to tell people to what extent the Israelis are damaging their own cause, people will not believe this is possible. It makes no sense. You
It's
have to
really-
know a lot. You have to know
I'm
a
sorry.
lot of facts, and just cannot expect anybody to get into the deep water. It's just not feasible.
Into the what?
The details,
Oh, okay.
because people
Okay.
will get
Ah.
the headlines and remember nothing of it. And
Okay.
how would you prove whatever you're going to say when what you're going to say is unbelievable? The case is not easy to defend. I don't bother.
You don't battle?
I don't bother. I don't bother
Okay.
convincing people. Perhaps with the exception of Yon God, because Yon God I know
Okay.
will go and investigate it and we look into the facts.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Gotcha.
there's only one of him.
Right. I got you. This last night was not a conversation like that. This was not, the more I look back on it, I stepped into an arena that I thought was a living room, and it was a debate, and I wasn't in the mood or in the position or the ability to debate. So, everything you're saying now makes sense and would have been helpful. But I realize now it was nothing about that. It's
Yeah.
okay. Mhm.
If I may give my 2 cents for what they're worth, to quote one of my favorite people, for questions I have answers, for answers I don't have answers. So my approach to debate is this person actually having questions they want answered? Are they actually wanting to learn, or do they just want to assert themselves?
Where were you yesterday? So, yeah, I like that. I'll try to remember that one. If they already had answers, they just wanted me to agree with their answers. And
I don't know. Did you ever watch a little while back? Michael Sartori had a live stream where Chezi and Yoav happened to engage with some internet personalities that found my channel somehow.
no,
That was an interesting back and forth that's related to this entire discussion.
ooh,
Yeah,
insight.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate this conversation because I think for me, when I was growing up, like whether you call me Jewish or whatever, I'm Jewish enough. I was Jewish enough for Hitler in World War II, and Jewish enough now for anybody in Hamas. You know, like he's a Christian and he was Jewish, double points. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been told. So when I see stuff like this, and also having people growing up that were in the camps, and I'm like, this ain't theory to me. And and a lot of other people, but I'm like, wait a second. It seems like never again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, so I'll say, watching Grim Grizz talk with Kel Zeldin,
Yeah.
I was very, very surprised at how naive Kale was, and it was actually quite angering. I sent him a direct message. I kind of regret after that, but you know, his father was Jewish, and he seems to think that Rod Dreher is paranoid about the anti-Semitism, and it's like, dude, look at your history. We're in a dark time right now. We are in a really dark time right now, and I am very, very disappointed at how little the Christians, especially in this little corner, as they call it, are able to see. Like I expected this little corner to be a place where there could be sense making and people would realize when there's real anti-Semitism that it's something that they should need to confront, and the reluctance to confront it has been honestly very disappointing.
I think maybe that's
Well,
what I did.
disappointing is a matter of expectation, you know.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
when we're talking about anti-Semitism, I was actually a little bit confused what you were referring to earlier with the we get the Saturday people first and then the Sunday people. Is that saying that they attack Jews before they attack Christians?
Yep. Yeah. It's a common saying in Arabic.
Yeah. It's not that cryptic. It's like, we're gonna get exactly it. We're gonna get you. You know, this is the order of operation.
The really sad thing is, in Farsi they say Karbala through Al-Quds, which means once we get the Jews, we'll come back for the Sunni Muslims.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
like this is one of the things that people like, maybe even Claire don't seem to understand, which is Islam has always had very bloody borders, and it's not like those countries that are just Muslims are peaceful countries. They're in fact very violent countries where Muslims are killing Muslims.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, look, after the ceasefire in Gaza, that's when I had a stream, Now the Genocide Begins, because once you leave Palestinians in the hands of Muslims, you're just giving them up to violent and evil people. You really are.
This is answering the question about when would the war would have stopped. Israel made two conditions very clearly. First, the return of all the hostages, and then the disarmament of Hamas. We want unconditional surrender of Hamas. This is And whether we get it by force or by negotiation, this is our demand. Hamas needed on day one return the hostages and disarm, and then the killing would have stopped.
Okay, I do have to go, and this has been a 3.5 hour stream when it was supposed to be maximum 2 hours. Any final words? We'll start with Kirk.
I recommend Jonathan go to shul this upcoming Shabbat and say Amir Shabbat for the people who were attacked. Same thing for Jacob. The same thing for everyone else here.
Ron, final words.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Jonathan, final words.
I think Kirk should get married.
I agree with that. Yoav, final words.
Say to your friends what Jordan Peterson taught us. Clean your room first.
And I will end with how the Rebbe ended pretty much everything, especially when it had to do with Hanukkah, which is a little bit of light, pushes off much darkness, and to focus on the fact that we can create light, which creates heat for not just ourselves but everyone around us. And God bless. I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry, Reverend. Thank you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes that devil's advocate thing too
Isn't there
far.
a proverb that says something like, don't answer a fool according to his folly?
But there's a proverb that says, answer a fool according to his folly.
There is. Exactly right. I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, good.
Thank you, Reverend.
Good to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
The